Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today I am going over some flowers and herbs that I'm growing in my medicinal garden this year. If you are new here, hi, hello, my name is Tori. I run Mountain Mama Living. We make videos 3 to 4 times a week all about prepared life on a budget. We live here in northern Colorado and we like to keep things on the cheap. So I show you recipes, different ways to store food, and different gardening hacks to keep yourself and your family prepared. So if you like that kind of thing, we would love it if you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like this video if you enjoy it, and let's get right into this. I will say now, small disclaimer, I did start a new channel. I'm still going to be active here on this channel just as much, but that is linked in the description box down below. I'm going to start saying that in some videos because I heard some people were missing out on some of my vlog content. All of those videos are going to be over there on that channel. So if you want to see that kind of thing from me, definitely head down and subscribe. We do more lifestyle, motherhood, and things of that nature. So when it comes to my medicinal herb and flower garden, this year it is quite extensive. It's going to be pretty large, and it's going to be larger than other years past, and I feel like I'm just getting more comfortable in some tinctures, teas, and balms for myself and my family. I've just had a little bit more experience, so that is why I'm expanding what I'm growing. There are some things that I've never grown before, and I'm really excited to get that in the garden. So I'm going to go through the list and show you what I'm growing as well as the benefit, and then what I like to do with it. So you can use herbs and flowers for a variety of things. I do have to make a disclaimer that I'm not a doctor. These are just things that I've used on myself and my family that have aided in our health, physical and mental. And I believe that both of them work together to create a balanced person. So I'm hoping that some of these will be inspiring to you. And I will say we don't have a lot of land here. We have barely an acre here in Colorado, and we don't really have a lot of space to grow on. Grass does not grow the best out here, and it does get super warm in the summer, especially where I am. I'm in northeast Colorado. So I am in zone 5B, and I know a lot of us actually are in that zone. I will say I'm going to be utilizing some different shade options this year, and I'm fingers crossed hoping to get a high tunnel set up. This year is also unique because I am expecting our third child, and she is coming in May, right around the time that we would start sowing directly outside. So I am going to be starting a lot of seeds inside, and I'm going to make a separate video about what seeds I'm starting and why I'm starting them first as opposed to waiting for some of them. And I will show you my little grow operation inside here in this video, but I did want to make that little second disclaimer. We are going to get started on this list. Don't forget that I will have everything typed out in the description for you. I also do a lot of smaller batch content over on Instagram. If you're not following me over there, head on over and you can see some Instagram reels if you don't have time to sit and listen to a video like this. But I do have a list of about 15 to 20 herbs and flowers that I will be growing. Of course, I am open to hear what you are planning on growing for your apothecary garden, your medicinal garden, your victory garden, whatever you want to call it. But I would love to hear what you are growing, so make sure you comment that in the comment box down below. And without further ado, let's start off with number 1. I'm going to start this out by saying I have made a video very similar to this. I will link it in the description box, and that was more in the season of growing. So I encourage you to check that video out. But this is just a list of some of my main herbs and flowers that I am growing. I have quite an extensive list, so there might be a part 2 to this, or if you'd like, I would just include it in the description box and I will show more of that when the season comes. But I did want to have that little extra disclaimer, as well as all of these things can be used in teas, balms, tinctures. You really just have to do your research and see which one works the best. First on our list is going to be lavender. Lavender was found in France and then it was brought to us by the Romans. It was said that King Tut's tomb after 3,000 years smelled of lavender, so the Egyptians used it for embalming, as well as Queen Elizabeth I. She used it to aid in her migraines, and that is when I first heard about it, and that's what I originally used it for, lavender tea, to help myself with my migraines. I hear this term a lot, but lavender is a powerhouse. It can help in wound healing for burns and cuts. You need to mix that with some coconut oil and apply that mixture to your area of concern. It can be used as a tincture, as you see here, and it could be used as essential oil, so it can be used as a scent booster. It is also known to aid in sleep problems, and it is anti-anxiety, which is a great one for me. It helps with burns, and it definitely is a digestive aid depending on the person. The next one is going to be St. John's wort. I think that this is quite invasive in my garden, so if you are in northeastern Colorado, definitely take a look at St. John's wort. I always thought it was interesting. The Greeks believed that the fragrance of St. John's wort would cause the evil spirits to fly away. This was used as a anti-anxiety, anti-sleep disturbance, and anti-depression medication for a very long time. I love drying my flowers and stems and grinding them down into a powder and then putting them in a capsule and taking them postpartum. I think it has an incredible power, and I suggest that you look into this. It can be also used in a essential oil. You could use it in a tea if you wanted to, but the whole plant can be used, which is really cool. Next on the list is Calendula. Calendula, I've heard it called so many different things. It is such a beautiful flower. It is also known as a pot marigold, but it's not part of the marigold family. It's actually part of the daisy family. This flower has so many amazing benefits and uses, but when I think of this flower, I think of skin healing. So I use this topically. I make it into a lotion. Sometimes I dry it down and crush it up into a bath salt, but my favorite thing to do is apply it to any rashes, any wounds, any inflammation I may be having, and it really helps with new tissue growth. Next on our list is Yarrow, just in time for Valentine's Day. Yarrow is considered to be feminine, and it is associated with Venus, the goddess of love. It's also found in ancient Chinese history as well as Greek history, specifically with Achilles. When we think of ancient history and Yarrow, we are looking specifically at wound healing, and that is what we use it for. My son even knows whenever he has a cut or a scrape to go to the Yarrow and put it onto his wound. I always have it in our bathroom. I have it in our kitchen. I, of course, have it in our apothecary, but it makes a great blood clotter. I will say Yarrow is very powerful. Again, you will need to do your research on these, but as a precaution, it is a part of the aster family. So if you are allergic to any daisies or any part of that family, I would not recommend taking this. And traditionally, it is not recommended for pregnant or breastfeeding women. Next up is going to be Feverfew, and I have taken this before. I had just never grown it, and I'm excited to grow it. It is believed to help migraine sufferers, and that's why I've taken it. There's a unique plant chemical in here, and it's called parthenolide, which helps relieve smooth muscle spasms and can combat the widening of blood vessels that occurs in the migraine. I've been told that it also helps with nausea and vomiting and any sensitivity to light, flashing lights, auras that you may have with the migraines, but I will say it has not really helped me with my nausea. My favorite way to take this is in a tea, but of course you can make a tincture out of this or even make it into a capsule. It's also supposed to help with menstrual cycles as well. Next up is one of my favorite scents, lemon balm. Lemon balm is part of the mint family, and it's native to Southern Europe. My favorite way to consume lemon balm is, of course, in a tea, but this summer I experimented with some Mediterranean salads, and consuming it that way was quite tasty. I will warn you, this has been used in the past as a sedative, so it could make you a bit drowsy, so I would take caution to that. It's also known to help with digestion, and it is supposed to help with fevers. Now, I'm not in the business of trying to reduce my fever. I enjoy letting my body try and help itself, but that's up to you. It is also very well known for lemon balm to balance your nervous system, which was very interesting to me. Next on our list is going to be Echinacea, or purple coneflower. I can always count on my Echinacea to come back. It is a beautiful flower that just keeps growing the whole season. It was used by the Native Americans of North America so they could help in wounds, bites, stings, snake bites specifically. They gargled it for toothaches. They drank some of it for colds, smallpox, measles, mumps, arthritis. This is another one of those powerhouses. I've used Echinacea for many things in the past, but when I think of the flower, I think of my immune system and how powerful this flower can be. Studies suggest that this complex substance in the flower, called a phenolic compound, is responsible for Echinacea's immune boosting abilities. Echinacea also contains a compound called echinacea, and it can help with bacterial and viral infections, and it has many antimicrobial properties, and all of this effect results in a two-pronged attack against a disease causing germs and viruses. So again, when we think of powerhouse, Echinacea is a killer one for your immune system. Next on the list is chamomile, which was thought to be the herb of the sun, and we could all use a little sunshine right now, huh? The Greeks, Romans, and Egyptians could definitely agree on one thing. They believed chamomile was magical and it had healing properties. I will say I agree with them. Chamomile is wonderful for anti-anxiety. It has helped with my sleep. It's definitely helped in lowering blood sugar. I can attest to that. I'm not diabetic myself, but I know a lot of people that are very close to me that have used this to lower their blood sugar. It's very tasty in a tea, and it has a mild flavor, but the scent is just beautiful. So I encourage you to grow chamomile. It'll come back for you. You can find wild chamomile, or you could just buy some dried chamomile tea. Next on the list is Valerian, one of my favorites. Valerian was brought to us by the Greeks, and they used it for epilepsy treatment in the Middle Ages as well. It was definitely a treatment for nervous disorders, and that leads me to what I use it for. And I was seeing a complete overstimulation as a mother of two and also someone who suffers from ADHD. And I take this in a capsule form to help me with that overstimulation so I don't have any big emotions that come from that. Next on our list is Comfrey. My son likes to call it comfy. It is a beautiful flower, as you can see here. It was used by Greeks and Romans because they needed it to stop heavy bleeding. They used it to treat bronchial problems and heal wounds and broken bones. So I have osteochondritis dissecans in my knees, and I would not recommend drinking this long term, but it is supposed to help with bone health and mending those bones. So I drink it whenever I'm feeling my knees are a bit overused, or maybe when it rains. Like direct temperature changes like that really affect my ailments that I've had over the years from being a gymnast. So I encourage you to try this one out. It's an interesting one. The tea is very tasty though. Next on the list is oregano. I love oregano. I love infusing it into oils and taking it as oil of oregano, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, but whenever I feel a sickness coming on, I like to take a little drop of oil of oregano just to aid in anything that may be coming my way. So it helps fight against bacteria and viruses. Of course, you could use it for cooking, but oregano is easy to find, and I feel like it's readily available. It's also one of those hardy herbs in Colorado, so it goes all the way to November for me. I will say that is last on my list today. Of course, I could go on and on and on, but I still want to keep your attention here. And I wanted to do a crash course on some beginner items that I am growing. These are ones that I started out with and ones that I kept on going with. So 2 of them are new to me to grow, and I'm very excited to get into the garden this season and grow it with you. Please know that you do not have to grow your own herbs to get those benefits. There are many websites out there where you can get these tinctures and get these herbs that you can dry down and make into your own teas. If you have a natural grocers around you, they carry a lot of these herbs. When I started my herbal journey, I went to my local apothecary and they had a lot of these flowers and herbs for me to grab and go, and they have a lot of knowledge there. So if you have questions, ask. I encourage you to strike up a conversation. This is an interesting art of healing your mind and body, and I encourage every single person to do this just so we are not putting any unknown chemicals into our body, especially this day and age. Please don't get me wrong. I am appreciative to all those doctors and nurses out there, and I do believe modern medicine does have a place and a time. I believe it can be helpful. I encourage you to look into herbal medicine and the benefits it can have on your life. Alrighty, my friends, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope this inspired you to start some research into some medicinal herbs and flowers that you can grow on your own. Again, I don't have a large space here. This is definitely possible to grow on a porch. It's definitely possible to grow in a community garden or even indoors. I encourage you to just start. Jump right into it. That is how I did it. It does not have to be this planned out operation. Just have fun with it. That is my best advice. But of course, I would do my research before you start using some of these herbs and flowers in your everyday life. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye, y'all.
I know that you are having a hard time right now. That everything seems to crumble around you. I know that you feel all alone in this world, but you have to put your trust into us, and we will help you through, 'cause we only want what's best for you. I know that you are having trouble believing right now that everything is gonna be alright. I know that you feel all alone in this world, but you have to put your trust into us, and we will help you through, 'cause we only want what's best, what is best for you. all alone in this world, but you have to put your trust into us, and we will help you through, 'cause we only want what's best for